Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Nefabit. If this is your first time, welcome to the club. We are going to look at 4 upper body movements that are either overlooked, underperformed, or maybe even be brand new to you. And these are movements that can add a little bit of pizzazz to your vocabulary as a dancer. So let's get started. So the first one I'm going to talk about is possibly the easiest, and this is what I actually call a chest box in my curriculum. However, this is a distinction because I know a lot of dancers refer to this movement as a chest box coming up, side, down, side, essentially a broken down circle. However, when I trace those points, I see a diamond, because we're going like this. So for me, if we flip that over and make it into an actual square, now we're tracing the idea of a box. So let me just break it down really quickly for you. There's not going to be a lot of repetition in this video. It is literally just to show you, and then you go practice on your own. But we're basically going to do a lift while we are holding the position of a slide. So my upper body is off center from my torso. And then from there, I'm going to lift and drop. Lift and drop. Same thing on the other side. You can come over here, lift, drop, drop. Likewise, we're going to be performing a slide across the bottom. So we're maintaining a little drop. It's not significant. I don't want to see you guys collapsing in your upper body and trying to look like this. This doesn't look good. So we're just creating a little tiny baby upper abdominal contraction, just enough to create the illusion that we want. And we're going to do a slide here. Now, because we have dropped down slightly, it is going to reduce the range of movement a little bit, because when you're doing your normal slide, you have a little bit more range of motion. Whereas when you drop a little bit, it's going to be maybe just a tiny bit smaller. That's okay. Second one, of course, would be straight across from the top, so we're maintaining a lift this time. And this one you do want to make as exaggerated as you can, going across like so. So we're essentially just combining basic fundamental isolations of lifts and slides. We're just doing them in combination together. So let's do the movement all put together. Make sure that we have the arms lifted, elbows rotate back, make sure we're minding our posture, shoulder blades down, all that good stuff. You can reference one of my posture tutorials if you need a refresher. But we're going to start, let's say we'll start over here right now. So we're going to lift up, still maintaining that side, slide across, drop, slide across, lift, slide, slide, lift, slide, drop, slide, lift, slide, drop, slide, lift, slide, drop, slide. Let's try it the other way. So starting over here, we're going to slide across, lift, across, and then drop. So make sure as you do your slide that you maintain the level of your chest. So starting from over here, let's do up, across, down, across, up, across, down, across. And 1, 2, 3, 4, last time, 5, 6, 7, 8. The next move we're going to do is a little bit tricky. It's not complicated, it's just difficult to do because it requires a lot of very fine movement and a lot of muscle awareness. This is the vertical figure 8 for the chest. So we're going up, and then we're making another circle at the bottom. My best tip is to think of that line, if you're standing normally, that middle line of your rib cage. You actually want to do this slightly higher than that. So right about where your sternum is, think of going into lift. So doing your big circle up here gives you a little bit of room to do the circle here. Otherwise we get into that like really crunchy, icky territory there. Obviously we don't want. So making sure your arms are slightly rounded forward and rotate back and all that good stuff. First of all, we're just going to do one circle. And this is counterclockwise for me. It's probably going to be reversed since I'm looking straight on. Doesn't really matter though. So we're gonna go side, lift as high as you can, slide, and then here's the key. We're gonna come right to neutral, don't drop at all. So we're making this really little circle. Then we're gonna slide across again, and then we're gonna do a little circle the same direction but going down. Down and over, center again. Up, neutral, down, neutral. Up, neutral, down, neutral. Up, neutral, down, neutral. Up, neutral, down, neutral. Up, 2, 3, 4. Really using the lats and then really using the abs. The next move that we're going to do is one of my favorites for drum solos for hitting little tiny accents. We're going to call it the M, or sometimes we hear M and M. I originally learned this from Delilah of Seattle as a hip movement, but we're doing the same thing in the chest. So we're just going to draw a little loop and a little loop, just the little letter, okay? So again, we're combining lifts and slides to create more complex movements, which is why these are intermediate moves and not beginner moves. But still, if you're a beginner, always give it a shot. So we're going to start in a slide. We're going to do just a little hump and then over. So you're thinking of taking your chest up and then place it down in the next point. So just visualize your shape and over, center, over, center, over, center, over, 1, 2, 3, 4. I like this one because it combines a rounded move with a sharp accent, which is always really nice texture, especially for drum solos or staccato type of music. You could also, as a bonus, you could also do this as reverse as a W. It's the same sort of idea. I think this one is just a tiny bit harder. Couldn't really tell you why, but same thing. So we're going up, 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 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3, 4. You just have to be cautious to make sure that that has a different look to it than, for example, doing a tilted lift or a diagonal chest lift. So a diagonal chest lift would look like this. Boom, center, side, center, side. But see how it's a lot more sharp, coming right back down to center each time. Boom. So if you're trying out that W shape, you really want to have that round hit, rounded hit, rounded sharp, right? So I'll show you again. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another thing to watch out for is watch the shoulders. Make sure you're not going here, okay? Really working from your corset muscles here. Coming 1 and 2. There's going to be just a tiny bit of reaction here. The more that you drop, the more rounding you get. So again, think of working on that slightly higher plane. So when I think of almost starting in a lift can help. And around, and around, and around. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's look at the other side, the M. Soft, sharp, soft, sharp, soft, sharp, soft, sharp. You can also do a slight little squeeze in your abdominals, whether you're doing up or down, to give it a little bit more punctuation, a little crispness, but really thinking of using your lats to create the lift and use your obliques to guide where you're going from there. So if I'm over here, I'm using my obliques in the slide, then I'm going to squeeze my lats, and then I'm going to release and do a slight little squeeze here. Same thing, up and over, 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 and 2. And the next movement is the chest roll, and this can be done as the precursor to the undulation. However, it warrants its own distinction of being in isolation as well. And it's just a little bit less commonly done. I feel like in the chest we get really stuck in ruts of slides, lifts, circles, like a vertical circle, and that's about it. Or in chest shimmies too. So maybe like 4 movements. And there's so much more that we can do. So anyway, this is just a little tiny sample. So for this one, I like to turn onto the 3/4 profile. It's very important that you maintain that pelvic lift just in your psoas and just releasing the tailbone so that I'm here and not here. Because when you do that, you're already in an arch and it's going to be really difficult to do a backward roll. So actually I'm going to turn this way slightly more towards my light source and release, turn so you can see, release the tailbone down. And we're essentially, like I said, just doing the top part of an undulation, but let's break that down. So we're going to slide the ribcage forward. Notice there's no dropping or lifting or arching here. It's just a flat slide. Then we're going to arch it up and back, and we're going to lean. This is what's a little bit hard on the abs. Make sure that you're not putting pressure here. So don't go way too far back. You're going to know if you go too far. So just into the slight lean until you feel those abs engage, and then return to neutral. So done on its own, it's going to look like this. And roll. And roll. Roll. Let the head come with you. Try to maintain a neutral neck so that we're not going in here, in here. See how strained that makes it look. So just follow along naturally with the chest. I'll show from straight on. Slide, lift, lean, neutral. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You want to make sure you're involving your abs, but also really working from your lats, especially for that little contraction forward. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I hope you'll consider giving it a like and maybe even a subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Be sure to leave any comments with any questions or what was your favorite move. Are there any that you haven't tried before? Let me know. I really love hearing from you, and I do read and respond to my comments, so let's have a conversation. And until then, I will see you in my next video. Bye!